From the lush green lands to the cascading waterfalls, wonders of the world, the oldest habitat of territories on earth, a rich cultural heritage, a continent of 1.1 billion people, second largest and most populous, a continent pregnant with possibilities, home to 30% of Earth's mineral resources, 50% of its people under 25 years. Africa, the land of the great. Our spirit resilient. Our enterprise profitable. Our future inspiring. Africa is inspiring. Be inspired.
I doubt anyone will say that the soup cooked by the mother is not sweet. But that's exactly what we've been doing as Africans. Most Africans have continually believed that anything foreign is better than homemade, homegrown things. So we found ourselves gravitating to things produced abroad. The implication of that is that our balance of trade runs into deficits. And we're affected generally in the way we bring up our children, in the way we get our people engaged in services, and then even in wealth creation. I've said it in some other settings that I do not believe in job creation, because I believe strongly that the concept of getting up in the morning to go sit in a place and expect a salary at the end of 30 days is simply Western. The African does it differently. So I believe strongly that we need to deal with the mindset of the average African. And how do we do that? To begin consciously to retrace our steps. I'm dressed the way I am, not because I've never worn a suit or a tie, but I dare say that even if you see me in a tie tomorrow or in a suit or a shirt, it will be the one produced in Aba by my brothers in Ariara Market. They deserve to be patronized. We need to begin to patronize things African, because if you do not begin to support yours, no one else will. If you continue to feed the economies of Asia and Europe and the Americas, they'll simply continue to clap hands for you, and you'll be a candidate for the Paris Club, borrowing money to fund your luxuries. Mahatma Gandhi once said to Indians at the age of 26, if you must drive a car, let it be an Indian-made car. If you must watch TV, let it be an Indian-made TV. At the end of the day, they came up with the Hindustan, the first ever Indian-made car, and the president, the first ever made Indian TV. But what did we do as Africans? We continue to consume and consume. And today you have Maruti, you have all manners of Indian-made items. But watch out that when Indians come to Nigeria or some other parts of Africa, or Chinese or Asians, they simply dress in attires made in their own climes, so they retain the money. Today, you may not take any published book into India. There are controls, despite the WTO protocols, but Africa has become a dumping ground. It comes down to mindset. We need to tell our young people from a very young age that they need to speak in our mother tongue. Today, China is #1 in education because they instruct their young people in their mother tongue. They teach them mathematics in their mother tongue, and they understand first. Here in Africa, we first of all think in our native tongue before we speak in English, so we are constantly struggling, and we're not going to compete that way in the global marketplace. It's important to understand that for us to make progress, we need to check a few things that have been going wrong. The bilateral air service agreements that we sign with other countries should be to the extent that we do not need to fly to Heathrow before flying back to an African country. If I need to connect Congo, I should be able to fly from Lagos or Abuja and take a flight straight. We save money and keep the money in Africa. Intra-Africa trade needs to be encouraged. Africans need to believe that we need to buy things produced in Africa and not depend on things produced elsewhere. Until we do this, we're going to keep wasting our time. What stops a young man from dressing the way I'm dressed? But we believe that if we dress like that, we'll be seen as people who are primitive. That is totally wrong. We are not primitive people. Let's begin to eat our own food. Finally, you see our girls adorn themselves with Brazilian hair. To shock you to hear there's an Igbo man from Ebonyi State that cuts the hairs of Brazilian women and ships it down here and will buy it for over 300,000 naira. That money could have been kept here. If you must wear human hair, wear an Inewi made hair or Ekiti made hair. Thank you.